Hi guys, Mike Al here from the Comic Book Syndicate. We just got out of Marvel Studios' new movie Ant-Man, and my first impression is Edgar Wright. What could have been? What could have been? Becca, what do you think?
Don't be a baby. It was good. It was fun. It was a good movie. It was an Ant-Man movie. I don't know what anyone else was expecting, but it was good.
Well, I was expecting a movie as good as Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz, but I didn't get it because the director was ousted. G.I. Jolie, what did you think? Marvel Studios Ant-Man.
I loved it. It was so good. It was nice to take a break from all this like super hyper action and just have a nice family story with also superpowers and a lot of humor. I mean, the jokes weren't really like har 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 laugh out loud. They're like like laugh out loud. So
There was a lot of
Let's be honest here. I mean, it was pretty average. I mean, as far as Marvel Hero goes, it doesn't stand out. It doesn't seem like a must-watch in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at all. It was just there.
It wasn't the best Marvel movie, but it also was not the worst.
Yondu, what did you think, man? Ant-Man.
I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, I went in with literally no expectations, and it was a really fun movie. Like, I thought it was really funny. The humor was, back of the class kind of humor. It wasn't really up there like Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was a lot of fun.
I really enjoyed it. Like people have said, it's not really a Marvel superhero movie. It's more of a heist movie, and those were my favorite scenes, where it was, a well-constructed plan involving lots of ants and his crew, and they were all doing some cool stuff, and it was just like, yeah, rob people.
I thought it was okay. I just thought it was kind of another cookie-cutter Marvel movie.
This one was completely different than all of the other ones. The stakes were completely bizarre, and everything about it was just weird. It was weird in a good way. It was probably the weirdest superhero movie I've seen in a long time. Like, whereas when you compare it to other things which are so sharp, this one was just like, yeah, it's Ant-Man. We're gonna, he's gonna ride an ant. I get it. Like, it was just weird and fun.
But I don't know, Paul Rudd, he's just naturally funny.
He's a likable fellow.
Yes.
Did you feel the absence of Edgar Wright, or did you not care at all?
I went in here not with no expectations. I didn't know how they were going to pull this one. I'm not ecstatic about it. I'm satisfied.
What was the biggest laugh in the movie, would you say?
Hank Pym telling him he's full of shit.
That was good. Overall, I feel like the whole movie, it didn't ever transcend the genre, so to speak.
It didn't. Like there's mentions of the other Marvel Cinematic in there. Mentioned Spider-Man. They meant Stark was in there, but it didn't. It just felt like it was an outlier too. It didn't feel like really part of in there. They had Falcon in there, and they had an encounter with him to try to push it really in there. But
It was a weird choice to go with Scott Lang, because they could have just gone with Hank Pym, right? What did you think of that?
Well, if they went with Hank Pym, then what would the story have been? Oh, I'm Hank Pym. I'm really mad at everybody. Oh, here are the Avengers. They kicked me off their team. I'm going to beat my wife, and now I made Ultron.
What's wrong with that? Other than his buddies, like, this funny little gang there, I thought they were really funny, and all the bits with the funny Latino guy, he was awesome. But there wasn't really much else about the movie that I thought really stood out. I mean, I like Paul Rudd. He's good, but everything else was kind of average to me.
Really? Hope and Hank's relationship, I really, really felt it.
I thought it was a little bit more like a soap opera.
What's your relationship with your father like?
Well, what does that have to do with this movie?
Well, being able to relate to somebody else who has a different relationship to their father, right? And then they come together and it was nice. It was nice. It was a little movie, but that doesn't mean it's a bad movie.
No, I think it's a pretty good movie. It just could have been better.
It was, comparing it to Age of Ultron, which is a huge movie, this one was an enclosed story. It had a start and an end and an awesome ending where Hope's line is 100% perfect because it's about damn time. Female superhero, man.
When they first introduced that Edgar Wright was going to direct and then Paul Rudd was going to star, I had a lot of faith, so I didn't really care. And then when Edgar Wright backed out, I kind of got I don't know. I was like, okay, set expectations to super low.
And were they exceeded?
Well, obviously, if they're at super low, I would, yeah.
Overall, I mean, are you an Edgar Wright fan? Are you a fan of Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz and all those movies?
I did like Shaun of the Dead, yeah.
Okay. So do you think this movie was as good as Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz?
That's really neither here nor there.
I felt like the camera was too close to the action almost the entire movie.
there were a lot of close-ups on people's faces.
It was almost like a TV director.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah.
Definitely an interesting take, and I liked his friends, right? His gang. They were cool, right?
They were the most Edgar Wright moments
Yes.
of the film. Whenever they're describing something and it's cutting to a whole bunch of different
Yes.
characters, and it's the same person talking, but everybody's lips are syncing up to that person.
Probably my favorite thing about the whole movie. I could watch that. Just the whole movie should have been like that. Now, you being an animation student, what was your opinion of the CGI in this film?
It wasn't overdone, which was great for the film because it really brought more to the audience.
Okay.
Because you had less to focus on as to how detailed the ants were, because they were just expressive enough as something you'd see all the time.
Sure.
So it was really nice to see that they didn't overdo it with the movie. It seemed like a really small film, which is kind of who Ant-Man is. He
He is
makes
small, you're
big
right.
changes in a small way. So
I like that. We didn't get to see him smack his wife around though. Were you disappointed in that?
Pretty glad they cut that one out.
3D detracts and has detracted for every single movie I've seen since Avatar. And this one, I didn't even have to close my left eye to see the 2D. Like, it really was unnecessary. Like, you didn't have to have that in 3D at all.
unnecessary. You could see it in 2D and it'd be fine.
If you want to pay higher ticket prices and watch a movie that's really dark, 3D is the way to go.
I definitely am sort of glad I saw it in 3D. Definitely added to it, just because like the visuals were good. Definitely felt like a Marvel movie in terms of the polish on it. But there's only so much you could polish. I mean, it was better than Green Lantern.
Not saying much. What was your favorite scene in the whole movie? Because I think I know what it was.
What do you think it was?
Is when Falcon came in.
Actually, no, that was like my second favorite scene in the movie. My first favorite was when Wasp shows up with a costume that's exactly like her original one. And then she sacrifices herself for everybody. And it's not Hank that does it. And Hank's a jerk in this movie, and he's a jerk in the comics. I loved it.
Okay, so what was your favorite scene in the movie?
Oh, God. Who was that asshole? What's his name? The bald
Hank Pym.
villain. No,
Oh.
no.
Yellow Jacket.
Yeah, okay. Every time he got knocked around, I felt it gave me real good tingly feelings because he was a D.
He was kind of scary looking actually in that suit, eh?
Yeah, and when he screamed, I was kind of like, it was surprising. I was kind of, it was upsetting.
Favorite scene in the movie?
Oh,
Did you have one?
I would have to say the fight scene where he got out of his little cell that he was captured in. I thought that was pretty well done.
And also when Thomas the Tank Engine flew through that child's bedroom window, that was also spectacular.
There was a few
'Cause
moments like that. that were
They
good, yeah.
kept the eyes going, and I feel like they used the real Thomas the Tank Engine instead of just making one.
We'll have to look into that.
My favorite scene in the movie, it's between the battle on top of the miniature train set
That was great.
and the exploding city that was very reminiscent of the Avengers, but it was like a model scale of a little
You
city.
notice these things. That's good. Are you going to watch it again?
Probably. I want to see more stuff. I want like little Easter eggs. Like I love going to see the Marvel movies again a couple more times.
So overall, you going to see it again?
No.
Why
well,
not?
Maybe not in a theater.
Not in 3D.
Definitely not in 3D.
Will you see this movie again?
Probably not. I mean, if it's on, or if I'm doing like a marathon of all the Marvel movies, definitely. But I'm not going to pay money to go see it again.
Are you going to see this movie again?
Yeah,
When?
Monday.
I'm still upset that Edgar Wright was ousted from this movie. And I will never forgive Marvel Studios for doing what they did. And for that reason, I will never be able to enjoy it as much as I would have if Edgar Wright would have directed it. Edgar Wright, thank you.